Hey, what's up, guys? I have a very interesting hypothesis for you guys. What if Brent Kopaka and Bryan Kohberger actually did know each other from Albrechtsville, Pennsylvania? Because we've all heard the reports about Bryan used to do drugs. Well, what if Bryan was getting his drug supply from Brent? Because Brent did used to deal in drugs back in Pennsylvania. And how ironic it is that Bryan and Brent just happened to land in Pullman, Washington right around the same time. And their apartment complexes were like less than a mile apart from each other. And this is part one in the series I'm going to be doing over the next few days.
Kohberger, when he needed his supply, he got it from Brent Kopaka. So there's no connection from Bryan Kohberger to the kids on the King Road house. No direct connection like his attorney says in court, but there is definitely a connection when you look at it the right way. Total speculation at this point, but I'm going to back it up as I go through the timeline in future episodes with the investigation. It's going to back up everything I'm about to say. What if on November 14th, when those folks are arrested for drug trafficking, they go to jail, they get out on October 21st, they go home, they've got to contact their supplier, and that's that big major drug trafficking organization that was later taken down in March of the next year. They say, look.
Now, see, the people he's talking about is not these same people we're familiar with. It's not Bonnie and Clyde. Their actual names are Tyson Farley and Tanner Rhodes. And right around that same time, guys, you had Xana's mom, who was arrested for drugs, and her charge was reduced. And so was Maddie's stepmom. So what if Tyson Farley and Tanya Rhodes, who were drug traffickers there in Moscow, Idaho, what if Kara flipped on them? And that's the reason why they went to jail back in September of 2022. And they got out October 24th of 2022, which is kind of irony. It was 1 month before the murders that they got out of jail.
Emma Bailey. What if Emma Bailey says, don't worry, you can't find them? My good friends that live right over here on King Road are roommates with both of their daughters. Remember, they have no idea that it's their stepdaughter. They think it's their daughter. So they both live in the King Road house. I know everything about the house. I know everything about when they go to sleep. I can tell you anything you need to know. They get Brent Kopaka. Emma Bailey tells them what bedrooms that they're in. And remember, at this point, Kaylee doesn't live there anymore. She's already moved out. At this point, Ethan doesn't live there either. He's just a frequent guest of his girlfriend. She provides all of the intelligence that they.
Emma is providing all the intelligence to this drug trafficking ring because her best friends, which are Dylan and Bethany, live in the same house as the victims. So what if Dylan and Bethany are telling Emma everything that's going on in that house as far as Xana and Maddie goes? Because like he just said, Kaylee had moved out, and even her own parents had verified that she'd moved out. And she just went back for that weekend to show her best friend / sister, Maddie, her new Range Rover. There is some very interesting and disturbing stuff going on in this case. So what if Brent was the actual killer that night and Bryan was just the driver? I'll show you where I'm going with this, guys. Now, I'm not saying Bryan's guilty. I still think he's innocent.
Mr. Kopaka enlists his friend, Mr. Kohberger, because of his knowledge of the criminal justice system. He doesn't want to get caught. The only caveat is Emma's two friends live in that house. She doesn't want them hurt. So she makes a deal with Kopaka. Do not hurt those two roommates, and I'll make sure that they don't dial 911. They'll stay in their bedrooms with their doors locked. So they set the night. She says, look, on Saturday nights, almost everybody's out of the house and they're in beds by 3 o'clock. And they usually drink enough to where they're going to be really passed out and they shouldn't be much of an issue. So on the night of the atrocity, Mr. Kohberger leaves his apartment there in Pullman.
Could this have been what happened that night, guys? Like I said, this is part 1. And keep tuning into these channels for the remaining parts to this series. And you also have a good Friday evening and a good weekend. And make sure you hit that bell notification for all new uploads, including this series that I'm doing. TCC out.